When my wife posted that picture with her ex, it felt like the ground was ripped from beneath my feet. It wasn't just the photo, it was the smug caption that read, asterisk, your jealousy is your issue. Asterisk, that wasn't just a message for her friends, it was a direct stab at me, the man who had stood by her through thick and thin. I sat staring at the screen, my chest tightening with a mix of anger and humiliation. At first, I told myself to ignore it. Maybe it was just her trying to get attention. But the more I thought about it, the clearer it became, this wasn't a careless act. She had deliberately chosen that photo, deliberately written those words, and deliberately wanted the world to know that she didn't respect me. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I observed. I noticed how she smiled more at her phone than she did at me. I noticed how she made excuses to step out for errands that took hours. It wasn't just my jealousy, something was really happening behind my back. That night, while she was in the shower, I looked through her phone. The truth was sitting there in front of me, messages with her ex. Not just casual conversations, but inside jokes, late-night talks, and even hints at meeting up. She had crossed lines, and all the while made me out to be the insecure one. I didn't explode in anger. Instead, I decided to take a different kind of action. If she thought my jealousy was the problem, then I'd show her what real clarity looked like. I began quietly collecting evidence, screenshots, timestamps, even her own public posts. I wasn't going to shout or fight. I was going to plan. Over the next few weeks, I played my role as if nothing had changed. She laughed, believing I was too weak to do anything about it. But in silence, I contacted a lawyer, updated my financial accounts, and shifted certain assets under my own name. If she wanted to embarrass me, I'd make sure she wouldn't leave this marriage with the upper hand. The breaking point came one evening when she told me, half mocking, you know, you should really stop being so jealous. Not everyone wants you to be in control. I looked at her and simply smiled. I didn't argue, I just told her I had something to show her. I opened my laptop and laid everything out, the screenshots of her messages, the public post she thought was clever, the financial movements she didn't know I had already secured. Her smug expression melted into panic. She tried to backtrack, saying it was all just innocent fun, but the evidence was undeniable. I trusted you, I told her calmly. You made me the villain for feeling something was wrong, when in reality, you were the one betraying me. Her silence was louder than any denial she could give. She realized she had pushed me too far, and now the consequences were unavoidable. The next morning, I filed for divorce. She begged me not to, suddenly acting like the devoted partner she hadn't been in months. But I was done. Love can forgive mistakes, but it cannot survive deliberate disrespect. That post of hers, the one meant to humiliate me, had instead given me all the clarity I needed. Word spread quickly among family and friends. She tried painting me as jealous and controlling, but everyone had seen her post. Everyone knew the truth. For once, I didn't have to defend myself. Her own arrogance had done the job for me. Weeks later, I stood in my new apartment, free of the weight I had carried for too long. There was no anger left in me, only relief. She had tried to mock me with words, but I had answered her with action. She thought my jealousy was the issue, but in the end, it was her betrayal that destroyed everything. And as I closed that chapter of my life, I knew one thing for certain. Sometimes the best revenge is not shouting, not fighting, but simply walking away stronger than before. And that's exactly what I did.